Well, our message throughout has simply been that I'm running to make sure our courts remain fair for everyone. It's a matter of priorities, and as Chief Justice, I really want to focus on making sure the courts in all our counties, Houston County, Jefferson County, have the resources needed to serve the people of Alabama. So the focus really is on fairness and pushing out the politics, and that message is resonating with people. I think most people do want Chief Justice to simply be fair. This race really is a repeat of what happened back in 2012. Justice Parker seems intent on following the Roy Moore playbook, emphasizing the divisive politics, and I'm of the view that we can't solve our problems if we're divided and at one another's throats. We need to come together if we have any hope of dealing with the problems that our courts are struggling with these days. Well, I do see signs of a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm among Democrats in the state of Alabama. Now, Alabama still is a red state, and I don't deny that, and it's still a tough battle. All I can say is our message in this campaign is resonating with the voters in Alabama. We're being very well received because we're not focusing on a partisan message. Really, there's no room for politics in our courts. So I've been trying to emphasize that it's so important to keep the politics out of our courtrooms. And I think that appeals to everyone, Democrat, Republican, and Independent. The reasonable folks in the middle, as I call it, who just want good, quiet, honest, competent government. And so that's been our message and what we've tried to emphasize. Well, you can't worry about that. It is what it is. That's politics, and we all recognize that going into it. But I do think we're at a point where we may be turning the corner, and that people are focusing more on issues, more on where people actually stand, and not what letter comes after your name. So I think more and more from this point going forward that people do take interest in actual issues, in positions of candidates. Well, that's a question I get a lot. And there is a disconnect because once we do our jobs as judges, and I've been a circuit judge up in Birmingham for 16 years now, once we enter the courthouse to do our job as judges, politics cannot have any place in that whatsoever. So we enter the political arena to become judges, and yet to do our job as judges, politics can have no place in that. So that does seem odd, and I think a lot of people are concerned about that. So I've heard a lot of discussion about what is the best way to select our judges. Now, I'm not sure change will be happening anytime soon, but I think it is worth discussing the issue. The Chief Justice is one of 9 on our state Supreme Court. That's true. But the Chief Justice is also the head administrative official for the entire court system throughout the state of Alabama, charged with responsibility to making sure all our courts are serving the people of Alabama. So it goes back to that issue I raised before. What's your priority as Chief Justice? What will you do to make sure all our courts are serving the people of Alabama? I think that's the real question that people need to focus on in this race. We're all in it together. Clerks, judges, probation officers, bailiffs, court reporters. I mean, there's thousands of people, good, hardworking men and women in our court system throughout Alabama. And they need the Chief Justice to be their voice in Montgomery, working with the legislators and the governor, and everyone else invested in the justice system to make sure we've got the resources, the funding that we need to serve the people of Alabama. That's why the position of Chief Justice is so important. We want to move past that. So that's what I've been emphasizing, and it's been very well received throughout Alabama.
Guessing the